we go. Okay. Thanks so much, Alex, for giving me your time for this. So, as you know, I am writing a book. I'm almost done. I am one chapter away of writing a book for job seekers. So, this is a book where job seekers will get real clear insights on what employers are looking for when it comes to resumes and also interviews. So, I have been interviewing executives like yourself across the country, and I'm dying to know two main questions. Number one, the resumes. When you get a resume, where do you find your eyes landing on or searching for immediately in those first couple of seconds?
No, it's a very good question. I think
Mhm.
for us, 'cause we're an accounting firm, we're trying to, our first piece, and it could just be recent experience dealing with what's in the job market, but
Mm,
looking at terms of how long have people been with their current employer, previous employers. If we're seeing 5 different employers in 6 or 7 years, we look for that quickly. It's just, is there,
right.
sometimes there's reasons, sometimes there's very valid reasons, but I say that's definitely a first place is there some continuity to the person in their job?
Right.
And that's where it's not a hard and fast rule, but I'd say that's definitely where our thoughts go first.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's our first place.
Alex, if you notice that there is what we then find that we end up identifying these people as job seekers that have changed roles a few times within a year or within a short amount of period, would you appreciate if the person writes the reasoning of why they had to leave that short-term role or that role that they lived in the short term? You know, sometimes some candidates will write reason for leaving due to restructure or company
Right.
closed down. Would you appreciate that? Does that change a little bit for
So where
you?
I think it could help the candidate is getting through our filtering, our screening, that often
Mhm.
if it doesn't have something written, we're going to make a judgment that may be incorrect, but we're going to make the judgment and then they don't get their chance to explain it. I do
Exactly.
think adding something while we're receiving the resume will give them the chance to then get to that next stage to talk about it more.
Exactly. Exactly. So that perfect. And that's what I always encourage candidates to do because life does absolutely happen. We all lived through COVID. So people maybe would have started a new fascinating role and then COVID hits and they're out of a job in 2 months. But it's nice if they write the reasoning. It helps a little bit understand what happened and you're not quick to judge. So I agree. So, last question for you, Alex, is I'd love to learn if there were any remarkable interviews you had that were poor or great. So, interviews that you said, oh my gosh, how did this person get through our door? Or interviews that you said, wow, this is great. This person knows how to interview. Were there
Right.
any elements that
Good
made the
question.
marks on either side?
I can't actually think of a negative one that was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing here?
Okay, that's
I don't
good.
think
That's
we
good.
had that bad. Definitely ones where we're saying it's not the right fit, or you realize it
Mhm.
pretty early on it's not the right
Okay.
fit. And I'd say with those, it's often, I won't say personality, but there's one. So we first take the resume and filter, then we'll do a Teams meeting. So we'll have a
Right.
virtual meeting with one person.
I like
And if they
that.
make it through that, and that's usually not with me, this will be with someone lower. And then
Right.
they'll come to our office for an in-person interview with me and someone else. And this is where, by that point, we should have had a feeling. Uh,
Right.
but the ones where it hasn't worked out have often been that something must have been missed on the Teams interview in terms of the rapport. And you start feeling when you're together that it's just not a good fit together on a personality base. Because I think there's capability and there's the ability to work together. And I think that's a very
Oh,
key piece that when we're meeting in person, we get to see and feel better than if it's just on a Teams interview.
my
Uh,
goodness,
the
absolutely.
other piece we do is have different people involved at different levels of the process. So it's usually a first interview is on Teams with one person who's doing the filtering. If they make it past there, they'll meet with that same person and me in the office. And if it makes it through that, we then have them get together for a coffee with a different partner that's less interview, more sort of checking our feeling. So if I'm happy, we've had a few instances where it passes through me, and when they meet for a coffee, the other partner then says, well, I didn't feel comfortable with these few things.
Oh,
Realize as part of the process, maybe that didn't come out in my interview. So we try and have 3 layers that we're trying to vet through. And so that would be what I say our process has been. In terms of like a remarkable, yeah, I don't think we've had extreme bad or good.
oh,
It's
that's good. Okay, at least you didn't have any bads.
yeah,
That's
no,
good. That means you guys are really good at reading resumes and doing a pre-screening, but also that not only that, you're the first person that the candidates meet within UHY Victor, they're really good at screening when they do that preliminary call on teams, like you said, they're good at screening to say, okay, I think the partners here would appreciate this candidacy, or I think the partners, no, it won't drive, it won't go well. So
right.
so the screening process is done as well. For you to say that you haven't had any like remarkably like horrible incidences, that means internally you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah, no,
It's
for
awesome.
sure.
It means that everybody, I love it because it means that also everybody internally, especially that person at the gate, they're really clear on your culture and you guys make it really clear on the culture.
Yeah,
And that's important. That's great. That means you're all literally in the same boat,
right.
working towards the mission of the organization and living it. So that's amazing.
Because I definitely find as part of the interview, yes, we want to make sure we're picking the right candidate, but we
Mm-hmm.
also want to make sure the candidate has a good feeling for us so that they don't get we don't want any misunderstandings, that they think they're getting one thing and then when they show up to work, realize that's not what I understood through the
Yeah,
interview. That's why part of coming into our office, and we're not a big office, we walk them around,
right.
the staff, and that's where we then do a coffee with someone else that allows them to really digest our firm and hear it from multiple people in our firm, not just the one. Because I know in my experience in general, usually the person interviewing you, everything sounds great, but then you never see them again, or they're not actually their HR and they're not actually the accountants that you're working with. And you
Yeah.
start to feel like there was a disconnect there, or I was being sold on something. So I really think it's important for the candidate before they say yes, that they are comfortable that this is the place they also want to work. It's not just
A
us
hundred
we
percent.
want. It has to go on both sides because otherwise it's going to lead to a not pleasant situation 6 months later. And
Oh no, and it's such a mess, and it just demotivates everybody around, and it's just so heavy. No, it's wonderful. Thank
yeah,
you so much for your time, Alex. I really
oh, this was a
appreciate it.
pleasure. Good luck with
Yeah.
everything.
Thank you so much.